Hello everyone, this is Alexis, and if you want to come for a walk with me and just for a little chat, different than when all of those big ones like Yeshua and Michael and Saint Germain come through. So today I'm speaking with my human voice, and the human is such a big part of this journey. It's an essential part of this journey, equal at this place. So from my perspective, Alex, I had a very so-called interesting life. Lots of things I experienced, everything that everyone else experiences within the mass consciousness. All of those feelings of unworthiness, of being less than, not good enough, and all of that has transformed as I stepped out of that whole framework of being, as I stepped out, then within my own sovereign space, out of that framework of mass consciousness, I can really be who I want to be. Everything is acknowledged, everything is fine. All of the choices that I made, that I used to as a human being, as a disconnected human being, I used to think were bad choices, were not good enough choices. A couple of days ago, I've filmed myself, my face, from all different parts, from all different sides. And I loved all my scars, all my, signs that I am older person. Older in a way as of being a crone, being a wise person. And I loved that body that's always been with me through everything that I've experienced. It's been faithful to me through all of the different things that I've gone through. And it is such a precious thing to be able to really love every part of it, every scar, every wrinkle, as part of the wisdom, as part of my own experience, as part of my journey on this earth, in this world. And when I stepped out of that mass consciousness of humanity, I can really then make my own choices. I can feel the way I want to feel. I can want the way I want to want. And so many of those things, they seem so simple for me now. Simple in a way that, they make so much sense. When I was in the mass consciousness, they were almost like a taboo to feel and to think, to experience. And so much within that mass consciousness, when you live there, is like that iceberg. So little is conscious, is above the water, so much is unconscious. So even the memories of the past, for those of you that know what it means to be integrating, as I integrate different parts, different aspects of myself, whether it's from my childhood, from all the different times, as I was a teenager, a child, a young adult, as so much of it has been unconscious, and my memories, as long as those parts of me are unconscious, the memories are very incomplete. So as all of those parts, they come home, as I integrate them, all of a sudden my view of the past changes as well. And so, my life now, when I look even at my past, is so different than what I used to imagine when I looked at all of that just through my mind. And there is so much freedom in that. So much freedom to just be me. Simply to just be me. To want what I want. To do with my time as I want. And that doesn't mean that, I have no responsibilities. Because feeling myself present, here where I am, feeling myself in my body that is now loved and accepted, I'm very much able to deal with everything that life brings to me, because of course I never am alone. I always feel myself as a soul also. But initially, when you really start feeling that soul, when it's not like in the old days when people, and many people still look at that as, oh my gosh, I have to talk to the other side through Ouija board or something like this. and the other side is scary and mysterious. Once you actually realize yourself as a soul, you have access to the other side. There is no other side anymore. There is only but you, your whole you. You become conscious of all of those, more and more of those bits that are under the water, that are, all of those bits that before were unconscious, and now they are becoming above the water. They're becoming conscious. And it's a very interesting journey, to say the least, because when you start feeling your soul as a human self that is still at that time steeped into all of those feelings of not being enough or not being worthy, and you have to just then make such a giant leap into being able to allow soul that is just so complete, so self-satisfied, is not missing anything, it's not incomplete, and it is just such a different experience of yourself. And within that space, within that journey, you as a human self have so many wonderful experiences, and some not so wonderful, because everything that is incomplete within you, all of those feelings of unworthiness and everything like that, they come to the foreground. They become into your consciousness. They are becoming conscious, and they're not pleasant to feel. And the intimidation of feeling your soul, of this gigantic that feels very, okay, I'll drop something and I'll pick it up. Okay, that soul that feels so huge, so gigantic compared to the human self at that time. How do you become friends? How do you befriend? How do you allow that part that feels so sacred, so complete, so clear, so clean into your life as a human, where you feel guilty and dirty and maybe sinful and all of those things that society is telling you that you as a human are? So within that space too, you have a lot of adventures, and many times you just do, because you realize you have no choice, because you are stuck with your soul as you are one, you and your soul and your eternal self. So you might as well make peace, you might as well accept, you might as well experience the new, and at the same time also as a human self you feel extremely mesmerized by your soul, mesmerized by all of the experiences, all of the things that it brings to the table. So the journey continues. This journey that is the most amazing, this journey that is sacred, this journey that is just the most beautiful, adventurous, thrilling thing that one could ever imagine. And as I was a child, and as I was that teenager, and as I was a young adult, I never would have imagined any of that, because I couldn't, within my mind, I couldn't imagine. Even the last decade has changed so much, and it's so different than what I thought it would be. Everything that I imagined before about enlightenment, before about being conscious, about being, all of these things are so different now that I experience them than before, when they were just a theory. And so, for those of you that are in the throes of integrations and are feeling perhaps all those difficult to feel emotions and parts and things, know that there is the other side. There is a place where you come to the other side of the dark night of the soul. And for those just awakening, take courage, because you are guided. As that part of you becomes more and more conscious, that part that is underwater, you realize just how guided you are, how guided you were throughout your journey. Even when you thought as a human self that you were the most lost, even when you thought that you were alone, you never really were. You always were guided by your soul, by your eternal self, which, of course, until it becomes conscious, it resides underwater in the unconscious part of yourself. And that's all there is, really. And that's the simplicity of this whole thing, of this journey. The simplicity that you already are whole. So what you are looking for is already there. You're just not aware of it. And this most sacred, most amazing journey of becoming conscious, of becoming enlightened, of becoming realized, is about coming home. You come home to yourself. You come home to the beauty of yourself, to the simplicity and complexity and multidimensionality of your own self. And you come home to self-love, to loving yourself as you are. Without changing anything, you realize that you are perfect as you are, that all of your experiences are perfect as they are. And as you become more and more conscious of all of the parts of yourself, you realize the perfection of your journey. You realize the perfection of your experiences. And so this is the funny thing that is so different from mass consciousness that is trying to emulate this journey. Because within the mass consciousness, you are supposed to dislike yourself, you are supposed to reject yourself, and you do. On the deepest levels of what you're conscious of, you reject yourself. And you banish yourself from your own Eden, from your own home, from your own self-love. And then you try to keep improving yourself. I have to get better, I have to look better, I have to look younger. I have to keep educating myself, know as much as I can, know everything. Because that's what is the silliness of mass consciousness. Because no matter how much you know, as long as you're rejecting yourself, you are not at home with yourself. And so, in this new way, in realization, you're not trying to change yourself at all. You're just integrating, you're becoming conscious of who you already are. And so, you're coming home. And the funny thing is that at the same time as all of the parts of you are accepted, and so all of the parts change without you even trying, without you trying to change them. And that's the funny thing, that it can look like a contradiction in this being, but yet it is not, because that is the multidimensionality of yourself, of your things, where you are everything. You are so many different things. And as a human self, as Alex, in this space, I keep discovering more and more. I keep loving more and more. I keep coming home more and more. And my day, my everyday, includes more and more of things that I enjoy. Somehow, it's just the whole reality just changes to accommodate who I am, to accommodate my soul, to accommodate myself as integrated being. And within that space, my life is enjoyable to me. I create it in a way that it is enjoyable to me without even trying. Without even trying. At the same time, it does require an enormous amount of courage, which you find that you have. Because the soul self brings with it all of these amazing things that you can do. The ability to trust, the ability to feel courage, the ability to say no. And this is the way the courage is needed. Because as you become more and more of who you are less and less compatible with those around you that are still caught within the mass consciousness, because none of their rules, no longer apply to you. They're not even comfortable. They're not pleasurable. They make no sense. For when you are connected, when you are whole with yourself, when you are home within yourself, majority of the things that people strive for make no sense anymore. And yes, you can see that there are certain rules of society that are perfect, that need to be, like when you're driving a car, you need to observe traffic rules. And that doesn't curb your freedom, it enhances your freedom because you know exactly what you need to do. And you're not a rebel anymore for any lost causes, but you are an absolute rebel because unlike everyone else that is still caught in the craziness of society, you are free, you are at home, and so there is no one else to rebel against. There is nothing that you need to rebel against anymore, not in the old way. And I hope you're enjoying this journey through this beautiful forest. It's a little protected patch. It's quite close to the road, so you can often hear traffic, but no matter. There's just such cool looking trees here, very elegant, with big roots. Gets a lot of rain at times here, and you can see there are lots of ferns everywhere. And today's a bit cloudy out there, but when it's sunny, the sun is just so beautiful, the way the sun rays play with the trees in the canopy. It's beautiful at any time of the year, at any time. Those trees are deciduous, meaning that a lot of them, they actually drop the leaves, not in autumn, but when it's very dry. And they're really funny trees because they decide to drop leaves all of a sudden, all within a couple of weeks, and different times of the year. It's not the same year, the same time of the year. I have no idea how they decide. They just decide. And then it's beautiful. This pathway becomes like that, filled with leaves, with rustling leaves, and full of gorgeous yellow and red colors. There's beautiful bird song as well here. And it is an easy walk, but very, very beautiful walk. And so, for me, Alex, I will now leave you to enjoy your day the way you want it. Because remember, even if you are deeply, deeply in your integration and in all sorts of deep spaces of yourself that are clearing, remember that you are loved. And you can feel that love at the same time while you are clearing. It is not exclusive. This is what multidimensionality means. That you can feel everything at the same time if you but allow yourself to do so. So you can feel all of those emotions that have been deeply buried within you that are coming home. And at the same time, you can feel excitement and wonder, and you can feel yourself loved at any time. Before anything gets resolved, you but choose it, and you step into that love, and you feel that love. And that's it. It is all within you. It is all present already. Everything that you're looking for is within you, as you are, wherever you are. And so now I leave you, Alex. Until next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.